In the UK, roughly 2 pupils in every classroom identify as lesbian, gay or bisexual, and roughly 1 person in every year identifies as trans. The LGBT plus community also includes other pupils who might be intersex, non-binary or gender fluid. They may be asexual, pansexual or demisexual. They might use different terms to describe themselves, or they could be questioning their sexual orientation or gender identity. Every LGBT plus person and their way of describing themselves is valid and worthy of respect. But sometimes being young and LGBT plus can feel complicated or lonely. That's where the BU project can help. Its staff draw on their own experiences to provide advice and support.
I remember being at school and seeing graffiti on the walls that said lesbian, and knowing that that word describes me. And it gets better. Acceptance is a journey, and today I'm really happy. I've got people in my life that care and love me.
Many young people who are LGBT plus are scared to tell their friends or family because they're worried about the reaction they'll receive.
I would like you to think back to a time where you were worried about somebody else's reaction to something that you had to say. For example, you had a big secret that you were hiding from a friend or a family member perhaps. How did you feel? Did you feel sick? Did you get all sweaty? That sick feeling, the sweaty feeling that you may get telling somebody something serious, some people unfortunately get that feeling every single day because they're unsure who they may come out to and how they may react. They fear being judged and being in a very unsafe situation.
There are many different gender identities, not just male and female. Imagine a spectrum with male at one end and female on the other. Some people might feel they're a different gender to the one they were assigned at birth, but others feel like they're a mix and somewhere else on the scale. And some people feel like they don't fit on the spectrum at all.
There are many categories that exist within the concept of gender, meaning that though a lot of people only recognise men and women, there is also a plethora of gender identities that exist that are just as valid as man and woman. So if someone asks you to use they, them pronouns, or even sie, her, please use them, because this shows that you care about them and that you're following how they feel about themselves and respecting their choices.
People in the LGBT plus community can experience bullying and prejudice. It's up to all of us to take a stand against bullying and also make sure we're not unintentionally discriminating against people in the LGBT plus community.
On some occasions, some people do not realise that what they're doing or saying is classed as homophobia, transphobia or biphobia, and it can really hurt people. And it could be a passing comment, it could be the use of language whilst talking, exclusion from activities, employment, trolling over the web, but the worst case is physical attacks. This kind of behaviour, it is illegal, and please report it. If you do not feel comfortable, the BU project can support you with this. Remember, confront this only if you feel safe to do so.
Straight people and those who are cisgender, meaning their gender identity corresponds to the sex they were assigned at birth, have an important part to play in ensuring LGBT plus people feel safe to be themselves. This is known as being an ally to the LGBT plus community.
So in the LGBT plus community, what can cis and heterosexual people do to show their support, stand up against homophobic, biphobic and transphobic behaviour and be a strong ally? Use your ears first and your mouth second. Let's start at the beginning. Let's not assume anything. Instead, let's listen to our LGBT friends. Everyone's experiences will be unique to them. Get to know their story, as this will help you be a supportive ally. If you see homophobic, biphobic or transphobic behaviour, report it. Bullying, harassment and abuse is not acceptable to anyone, regardless of who they love or the gender that they associate with. Cis and heterosexual people can get involved in peaceful protests, pride parades, demonstrations and sign petitions. Saying things like "that's so gay" really is outdated and outvoted. Challenge people that use offensive and inappropriate language. What do they really mean when they use those sayings? I bet they don't even know.
Everyone should be able to be themselves. And if you identify as LGBT+, it's important to remember you're not alone. The BU Project is here to support you. It provides safe spaces that give you help when it comes to exploring your identity, coming out, and family relationships.
You are not alone. We run groups for 13 to 17-year-olds in your local districts and a Kent-wide group for 18 to 25-year-olds. We also have support groups for your parents if they're struggling with coming to terms with the changes you're experiencing. If you need help to access groups, we can do that too. We'll be here for some one-to-one sessions to build your confidence so groups don't feel so scary. Ultimately, it's about you, being your amazing, wonderful, awesome self.
I felt so cooped up before and didn't realise how much I wasn't talking to people. I felt unable to express myself publicly, but now I feel more confident going outside as myself. It also reassured me that I wasn't the only LGBT+ person where I lived.
The BU Project is run by the charity Porchlight because LGBT+ young people are disproportionately affected by homelessness. By putting the right support in place, we can ensure they feel included, have positive mental health